Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, as always, of the WSE Lounge, CEO and owner, Brian Vaughn. I want to, first of all, let you folks know that I'm still waiting to hear from my guest, Ernest the Cat Miller, former WCW, WWE wrestling superstar. He'll be on the show today. Want to let you know, though, that I am actually wearing the shirt Size. You can't see it because it's kind of dark, but anyway, Size. That's one of our sponsors of the show, and you can transform your body, your mind, and your spirit. You can call them today at 1-917-463-3373, and you can also email them info at moticise.com, and it's Sonia Satra, Moticize, Moticise, fit mind and a fit body. And that call that just come through was not our guest, so waiting on the guest to call in. Also, another sponsor of the show, WCW Retro, hosted by the Maestro of Professional Wrestling, the Stro, each and every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on VOC Nation Radio. And you can call into his show, and it's a great show. They talk about wrestling and other stuff. They have Comic Con on, not Comic Con, Comic Stars on Thursdays, where they, with Dr. John, who hosts that. He always has great informative guests on there, maybe from wrestling, maybe an author, maybe any kind of different genre that they have on. And also, that's it on the sponsors, I believe. But anyway, if you have any questions or comments during today's show, please feel free to call. Please feel free to call. I may not call, sorry. Sorry about that, I'm getting mixed up, folks. If you have any questions or comments, please leave your questions or comments below in the comment bar. And I'll be glad to get to them, to direct them over to Ernest the Cat Miller. But yeah, if anybody has any news or anything, please drop it below, and I'll discuss that on today's show or whatever, till we hear from Ernest Miller. But I am going to get back to him in just a second here. Do want to let all you fans know that this past Saturday or Sunday, I believe it was. Yeah, this past Sunday was, I know it was Father's Day, but it was also the birthday of former guest Palmer Watkins, who plays Dylan Quartermain on General Hospital. I want to wish him a happy birthday. And now let me try and get back in touch with Ernest Miller, who I've not heard from yet, but I'm hoping to hear from. So let's see what happens. Okay. I'm going to try and see again if we can get Ernest Miller. Hey, is this Ernest Miller?
Yes, this is he.
Hey, I know you was running a little bit late. I tried to get you earlier. I told everybody on the air that I'm going to try to get in touch with you.
Oh, okay, all right.
Welcome to the show, Ernest.
Hey, man, I'm here.
Hey, thank you so much for being here. I usually do a theme song, but I'm not even going to do that today because we're running a little bit late and everything. But I wanna first off ask you about your being a karate competitor, because I know that you I know you was in a tournament and you won different championships and stuff. So can you tell us about that?
Well, it's not really been a competitor. I'm actually a martial artist at heart, where I do a lot of training and teaching.
Uh-huh.
But every now and then, just to stay sharp, I may go out and compete in one of the national karate tournaments, being that I'm sponsored by Paul Mitchell Hair Product. So.
Okay. Now, I know that that during your karate, career and stuff, I know you trained Eric Bischoff's son, who Eric Bischoff's former guest of the show, but you trained his son Garrett in martial arts and karate.
Well, I've trained a lot of kids over the years. You know, a couple of famous ones. Usher Raymond, I trained him. He's one of my black belt. I trained a lot of them. Puff Daddy. I used to train a lot of guys back in the day. Emmanuel Lewis. But Garrett, yes, he is one of my black belts, amongst others.
Okay, so you actually trained Webster, Emmanuel Lewis.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
Emmanuel
man.
Lewis, yes. He's one of my students.
That's awesome. How's he doing now?
Unfortunately, I haven't been able to really catch up with him or talk to him. But from what I hear, he's doing good. He's in Atlanta.
Okay, that's that's great.
From what I hear, he's doing great.
Yeah, I gotta tell you a funny story, Ernest, about how I actually came about getting in touch with you. I was over at Dairy Queen, and I saw your cousin Hiram over at Dairy Queen, and I looked at him and
I'm really not related to that dude. He just don't know why he go around and telling everybody that we related some kind of way, but no, I'm not.
Oh my goodness! Well, I didn't know that, and I apologize for that. But I looked at him and I said, you know who you kind of favor? He said, who?
Oh,
I said,
no, you did not. Man, that guy's ugly, man. You did not say that.
I totally
I'm hanging up this phone right now.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, that guy's ugly, man. Really ugly.
I told him that he kind of favored Thunderbolt Patterson.
Oh, okay, well that's better.
Yeah, that's why I told him. I didn't say you. I told him he kind of favored Thunderbolt Patterson. And and he said I'm related. He was trying to tell me he was related to you and all that stuff. And anyway, Thunderbolt. Now I've had him on the show before. He's a great down to earth guy.
I love Thunderbolt, man.
Yeah,
Thunderbolt.
He's got that testimony, for the Lord, and I really like that. That he does now. Now I know that. Before we get into the wrestling talk, I know that you also you were going to be in a HBO movie about George Foreman. Did that ever get produced, or what happened with that?
It never really got produced. They're still working on it. And they had a couple of guys who they were thinking about playing a George Foreman part, but I was one of them. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but no, it never really got off the ground.
Okay, yeah, you would have.
From what I hear, it was something with the family. They want to release certain parts of it, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you would have made a good George Foreman with your flamboyant attitude that you have.
Oh man, things are like hearing that.
Yeah, and I know that you were in the movie with Mickey Rourke, the wrestler. How was that, filming the wrestler?
Man, that was great, man. It was a great couple of days. I got to meet some great people. Darren Aronofsky, one of the best directors in the world. Mickey Rourke, Marissa Tomei. Yeah, it was a really good cast to be around, and a good group of people as well to work with.
That's awesome, man. Anytime you can go into different genre, whether it be acting or wrestling, karate, whatever you can do, and just like you were saying, even hair products, helping sell hair products. I mean, it's awesome to be able to reach out to somebody and be able to do something on a different level.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. It's always good to have something, you know, left over to give people. And that's my thing. I like giving people things, you know. So teacher. I like teaching things, you know, so yeah.
Yeah, and I had speaking of strange things, you know, we was talking about a few minutes ago about that guy that said he was related to you. I had a question come from a fan, and I don't really know what he meant. Maybe you do. He wanted me to ask you, when you were on the movie The Wrestler, which I know that was filmed many years after WCW closed down, he said, did you get any did you get any pressure or anything from the higher ups in WCW? And I explained to him, I said, well, WCW closed down long before that movie ever come out, so I don't know what that question meant, but he wanted me to ask you that.
No, I had told him back then. I think I had spent some time in WWE, you know, so WWE was my last employer, you know, before I did that movie.
Okay.
So, no, I never heard anything from anyone. I don't think they could stop you from making money out there.
No.
You know, your career in wrestling is over.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, now, do you get it? Now, let me ask you this question: Do you get any money or anything from the production that they do on the network with your image and stuff on it, or?
Almost there from who? From who now? Who you talking about?
Vince McMahon. You know, like from the network when you're on the network.
You know what? I haven't and that is fun. I haven't received a dime from them. And they're still using my image, and they still putting these out there on their website and on their network.
Yeah.
I haven't received any kind of check, you know. So no, I haven't.
Because I know a lot of guys haven't. Like I know that also former guest Bobby Fulton of the Fantastics. You know, he hasn't received anything either, and several others. You know, and they're kind of baffled by that. You know, they haven't received anything from the network using their likeness and image and everything. But that's another story. But anyway, getting into your wrestling career, what was it like for you? Well, before I get into that, when did you decide that you wanted to become a wrestler? When did you know?
SummerSlam 1997 or 98, I think. I really didn't go start out wanted to be a wrestler because I was a martial artist. You know, and I consider that totally two different things. But as I got into the business with Eric Bischoff, I was able to work my way through, and began to see that I was pretty good at it. So it took a little time to grow on me, but once it did, it's like I kind of elevated a little bit.
That's awesome, and I know Eric Bischoff is a great guy. You know, we had him on the show. He was on the show about almost a year ago, and then before him, I had your former manager, Sonny Ono, on the show, and they're both great guys. And I remember when Bischoff come on, he discussed WCW and everything, and after it was over, I saw that Bischoff had a something that meant a lot to him. He had it was the Sizerum fund. I can't think of his name. You know who I'm talking about? The fund that he does where they give back to the military and all that stuff?
No, I sure don't.
I can't think of what his name is. He's an actor, and he does, it's something syndrome that, it's a fund that he does anyway. The WSE Lounge, they gave a little bit to, the fund, after the show was over, because it goes out to the military families, and goes out to a lot of other different organizations. They help out. So I thought that was great to be able to give back. And speaking of giving back, Ernest, I know that you're a relative of Georgia like myself, and I wanted to ask you, have you ever got to hang out with Rocky King? Because you know Rocky King is he actually does the giving the pizzas to the homeless and going and feeding the hungry. With he's got a relation with Papa John's Pizza and all that stuff.
No, I don't. I did when we worked together in WCW days, and Russ was a great guy, but I don't really hang out with him now.
Okay.
So, you know, but I did hear that he's doing some great things for the community.
Yeah, he is doing some awesome things. He's got Jeff Foxworthy as a partner to help him out with that, and I think Jeff Foxworthy makes appearances every so often, you know, for Rocky. Now back to WCW. What was it like for you teaming up with another former guest of the show, Glacier, Ray Lloyd? What was it like for you teaming up with him in WCW?
Man, great. Ray Lloyd is a great guy, man. Great guy. And being a part of his gimmick, being a part of that whole thing with him, Chris Canyon and Alan Baum, you know, it was great. It was entertaining and a fun time.
It really was. I remember that when he first came in, and then it was Mortis came in, or Chris Canyon, late Chris Canyon, and Raph or Brian Clark or Adam Baum, whichever one name you want to call him, and they had Father James Vandenberg, James Vandenberg at the time.
James Vandenberg, yeah.
Yeah, and you had a lot of you had something in that particular feud that you don't see anymore in wrestling in general. And what I mean by that is you had a combination of all guys that mainly did karate, and you don't see that much anymore in the sport.
No, you don't. You don't. But you do and you don't. That's why right now the most popular style of fighting is mixed martial arts. That's the style of wrestling and karate. So, Eric Bischoff was so smart. He was right on the verge of creating something before it was created. You know, and he was mixing the martial arts with the wrestling, which in turn could have been mixed martial arts, you know?
Yeah, and I know. Speaking of mixed martial arts, I know you had a feud with a guy named Jerry Flynn, and I don't even know whatever happened to Jerry Flynn. I don't even hear about Jerry Flynn anymore.
Well, no, I don't. And Jerry Flynn is a really skilled martial artist. He did some time in Japan, and I think he made a pretty good name over there. And Eric decided to bring him in, and we worked together a couple of times, and I think we had a couple of good matches.
That's awesome. So do you hear from Jerry Flynn anymore?
I haven't heard from Jerry Flynn in years, so.
Okay.
But I know he's still around. I don't think he's wrestling anymore. His gimmick though was not wrestling. It was strictly supposed to be a martial artist karate kind of gimmick.
Okay.
And unless you get somebody to pair him with that's a pretty good wrestler, a gimmick like that, the karate gimmick just wouldn't work alone. You got to have a couple other things.
Yeah.
Add to it to make it work.
Yeah, you have to put the combination together in order to make it work, kind of like solving a puzzle. Yeah. So how did it feel? How did it feel to have the inventor of the selfies, Sonny Ono, as your manager?
Well, I guess it was Sonny, and he started wrestling and Sonny and I still talk to each other. Working with him was just a bunch of fun, good times, and entertaining moments. So it was great.
Yeah, I think you and him made a very good dynamic, and y'all's chemistry on the television of WCW programming reacted so well together, and y'all just made such a great team, I believe.
Yes.
Now, something else that I wanna bring up to you, and I know this has got to be a vivid memory in your mind. You were wrestling a good friend of mine who I've known for over 10 years, the Maestro, who's now known as the Stro, Papa Stro of wrestling. You're wrestling him, and he had his manager. It was Ryan Shamrock Symphony. She was his manager, and you brought on the legendary, late great James Brown. What was that moment like?
That was an incredible moment, and working with two great entertainers. You know, my show being one of them, and of course James Brown, man. And, you know, just being entertained and at the same time putting in the work. So it was a good moment. It was a good match, and I think the segment was one of the most watched segments on that pay-per-view. So it was successful all the way around.
That's awesome. I mean, you know, I know that sticks out for you. You know, as one of the greatest moments of your career, possibly. And what's another moment that sticks out to you as being a great moment in your career?
Man, my career, man, the first thing is working with Hogan. There's a lot of good moments, man. Working with the guys I watched growing up, Hogan, Macho Man, you know, Sting. Just being able to work with those guys in a few matches was also great moments. So, you know, I can't just call out one and make the other one better or less than the other one, but then, you know, I had a few really good moments, and to me it's just like a blur because, you know, just being there was great.
Oh yeah, I know most definitely that it's hard to just choose one because you got so many. I mean, and speaking of WCW, what was it like for you working for WCW, and would you have preferred if WCW stayed in business? Would you have preferred staying with WCW or jumping over to WWE?
You know what, man? WCW was a great time. It gave me a platform to learn, to grow while in the business. So, of course, WCW was something that you cannot kind of describe as to give it away or make it better. It was what it was, and it was a great time for me. But as I went into WWE, one of the only reasons I went there was because they actually called and asked for me. I didn't go over there soliciting a job opportunity or anything like that. You know, I get a call from Johnny Ace, and Johnny Ace said, I think this would be a good place for you. You should come over here. And I said, well, you know, if you guys want me, you should just come and do a dark match. So they kind of called me to come over there.
Yeah.
But it was nothing compared to the freedom and the growth that I had in WCW. And most people don't understand. I was pretty new. I'd never wrestled before. Not one time until I came into WCW. So that whole 4 or 5 years was just a learning process for me.
Yeah, because I read that Eric Bischoff had actually approached you after you were training his son Garrett about actually getting into the business.
Exactly. Yes.
And over in WWE, I know you had a feud with Tajiri, and that was also, he's also considered mixed martial artist. I guess. What was that like feuding with Tajiri?
It was okay. I mean, wrestling is wrestling, man. It's all not who you work with, it's who you entertain. So, I would entertain the fans and people were watching me. It was all great. It was all good. It was just like another day at work, when you work with guys. It's another day at work. So, being with someone that you can entertain the crowd and entertain the fans was a gifted moment for me. Like in WCW when I played the commissioner. For commissioner part interacted with, I was able to work with a lot of people all at one time. So it was good, to be able to go through the roster and have scenes and matches and, run-ins and different situations that you put in, working with these guys.
And I remember watching you as a commissioner of WCW. You feuded with Mike Sanders over that job as well, and and I've had Mike Sanders on here on the show as well, and he was, he's now ventured out into acting and everything, and he's doing acting and guest starring on different shows now and stuff, and I think he's doing a great job. And I know you also had a little bit of a feud, which I kind of find funny, was with the Young Dragons, Kazuyoshi, Jamie Noble, and what was the other guy's name? Jimmy Wang Yang. Yeah, Jimmy Wang Yang.
Yeah. Those were some of my good old buddies there. I think they was on the list to be cut. I heard, grapevine. They were releasing a couple of guys and those who wasn't doing much around there. And I think their name was on the list. So I came up with ideas to use them. And the WCW, I had the freedom to kind of put together my own stuff if I wanted to. So, I wanted to kind of help a friend out, but also entertain people. So we came up with that little thing of Pink Panther, and it was fun, yeah.
Well, one thing I can say is, I've been watching wrestling. I've been watching wrestling my whole life, and I remember watching it back when the superstars were wrestling. Joe Pedicino, Bonnie Blackstone. You had you also had WCW Saturday Night, and I'll tell you, every Saturday I would tune in 6:05 Eastern Standard Time to WCW Saturday Night to watch that, and it doesn't matter what kind of different things that they do today on WWE, or whether it be over on Impact or whatever. None of that, to me, in my honest opinion, lives up to what you guys did in WCW. I mean, WCW was what's going to happen next, who's going to show up next. You had classic feuds. I remember back in the early 90s, I remember watching, it was Stunning Steve Austin, back when Stone Cold was Stunning Steve Austin. He was a TV champion, feuding with Barry Windham. And they would go back and forth every Saturday night, and they would have a draw or something, and then you'd be on the edge of your seat wondering, well, what's going to happen the next Saturday? Who's going to win? And I thought that was a great matchup, and, a great feud, and so many other aspects of WCW that was great that you don't see anymore in wrestling. I mean, yeah, of course you see it copied, or of course you see stuff, kind of redone over, but it's not the same. It's not the good old. I guess you call it the good old days. I mean, it's not like that.
No, you're right. I mean, it has changed a lot. And I was in there briefly for a short time. I was able to work with some of the top guys in the business, and very professional guys. So, but looking at it today from the outside, it seems like it has changed a little bit. You can take a feud between two good guys and run it for a long time. And it's like you just run it now. It's so diverse and so mixed. You don't know who are the bad guys and the good guys. You just don't know.
Yeah, that's true. You don't. And another thing I wanted to ask you about, Ernest, was I know you had a classic matchup with Japanese legend, one of the greatest of all time in the sport, the great Muta. What was that like, working with Muta?
That was scary as shit. That's a scary dude, man. I mean, scary dude. The way he moved, and just so entertaining with everything that he did and everything that he do in the ring. He just entertained with it, you know, and he was a great person to watch in and out the ring, you know, so it was fun.
Wow, that's neat. I never knew that about Muda though, that he was scared like that. I never knew that.
Yeah, I mean, that was a, you know, a noted good match. That's a match I can look at, put on my resume because he's huge in Japan. You know, he was also a good worker here in the U.S. and all throughout the U.S. So,
now, did you ever get to work with Jushin Thunder Liger or no?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Did you ever get to work with Jushin Thunder Liger or no?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I don't recall working with him.
Okay. What are your thoughts on another? What are your thoughts on another guy that you used to work with in WCW, Mark Mero, on such great things he's doing now? He's the #1 requested speaker in the world about bullying and about helping people out. I mean, what are your thoughts on him? Because I think Mark is a wonderful guy.
He's always been really good to me. He's always been really uplifting, and as you see today, he's pretty much person. So, you know, every time I see him in the locker room, ring, outside the ring. So, you know, he's a good guy.
Awesome. Another thing I want to ask you now. Did you feel kind of wronged by this, or do you feel like it was just a time? Your feud, whenever you and your limo driver were feuding with Chris Canyon and Animal from the Road Warriors, it never got to end because WCW closed down before the feud ended. How do you feel about that?
You know what? To me, it was just something. You know, I mean, it wasn't anything to be upset over. It was just business. You know, it was just business.
Okay, and now I've always wanted your feelings on this, and I've also had this person on the show in the past, Brodus Clay, known as Tyrus in Impact Wrestling, because you were the originator of this. I remember you in WCW said, "Somebody better call my mama," you know, and then WWE they did this thing with Brodus Clay at the time, now known as Tyrus, where he came out and he did the music and he said, "Somebody better call my mama." What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I really didn't have much thought on it because everybody know what it came from, you know, and
Oh yeah.
well, it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big nothing I would go complain over, you know.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to, I could say a big think about it because they owe me money from that. That's my trade.
That's true. That's true. And I want to ask you one last question, Ernest. Do you have anything that you would like to promote? Any upcoming events? How people can reach you on social media? Anything like that?
You know, you can reach me on social media, Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Twitter. You know, Ernest Miller. So, you know, yes, I have a few things with martial arts, TV shows about karate and martial arts, me working with kids. I got that coming up. And a couple of movies that I've been around that fella, so you look forward to that. I'll be doing a book. It's going to be a tell-all book about, you know, my experiences in pro wrestling and no more we're talking about. Okay,
and when will that book be released? Any release date on that?
I most definitely have to come back up the store and confirm it and let you guys know when it'll be released. But believe me, it's going to shake up the world of wrestling.
All right. Well, that's That sounds good, and I will share this on. I'll share this through Twitter, and I will share this to you on Facebook Messenger, the show, so you can share it on your page or whatever, and the fans can go back and watch it and everything.
All right, thank you, man. Really thankful that you had on.
Yeah, I wanna thank you so much for being on, Ernest, and taking time out of your busy day. I really appreciate it.
All right, then, brother. Well, that's the day, and tell all the fans I love them and look forward to seeing them again.
Okay, you too. Take care. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was former WCW WWE wrestler Ernest the Cat Miller. And I will be sure and let you know whenever I have some more shows coming up on the WSE Lounge. As of right now, we do not have any shows